Hou Yifan, arguably the strongest woman chess player right now playing chess, and perhaps the second best woman chess player in the history of the game after Judith Polgar, teaches us how to punish this opening mistake and how to punish your opponent when they are just trying to copy you. This is a game between Hou Yifan and Kateryna Lagno in the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League 2025, and she just won in 20 moves with a 99% accuracy. Let's see this marvelous chess game. Hou Yifan, with a rating of 26-13, kicked off this game with a king's pawn move, trying to control the center. e5, and we have the bishop opening, putting the bishop on this beautiful diagonal, attacking on f7. And here black just plays knight f6, attacking the pawn, d3, protecting it, bishop to c5. And in this kind of move order, white is trying to have her options open. Like in this position, by playing knight c3, in some position white wants to play f4 and transpose to Vienna game, and in some positions white might just plays knight to f3 and transpose back into the Italian. Let's see what happens in this game. After castle, Hou Yifan just plays knight f3, because I guess she knows that after f4, I'm sure that she knows that after f4 there are tons of theory here, this transpose to Vienna, and black has this wonderful d5 move. And after d5, the game is a little bit risky for white, because after knight takes d5, black can even play bishop e6, and black has some traps. Like in this position, if you take on e5, there is queen f2 checkmate, and if you take on e6, there is f takes e6, and there is a big pressure on your king. So Hou Yifan just tried to play solid and played knight to f3, attacking this pawn, and black just defended it. And in this position, till now, everything okay. White just goes a3. With this move, white secures this square for the bishop. So if in some positions black plays knight a5, I can always put my bishop on a2. Here black just copies white. This is a common scenario in the Italian game. Now we are in the Giuoco Piano Italian. And black is also vacating this square for the bishop. So in some positions, if you push with d4, if you play knight f4, I will always have this bishop a7. And in some positions, I might play b5. So far, so good. And in this position, Hou Yifan just plays h3. With this move, she protects this g4 square, and black should have played d6. But here black says also, let's just copy this move also. This is a good move. Let's protect this g5 square and plays this terrible move, pawn to h6, which is a terrible move in this kind of structures. When you castled in this Italian opening, in these Italian structures, when your king is in castle and your opponent king is not castled yet, to commit to a move like this allows white to launch an attack on the king side. White to move and gets a decisive advantage in this position. Of course, Hou Yifan will not miss it and will punish this opening mistake. This is just playing symmetry and just saying, okay, it's okay, just I'm securing this square, there is no more knight g5, there is no more bishop g5, because black thought, okay, if I play d6, maybe bishop g5, and this is a little bit annoying ping. But she just plays h6, and Hou Yifan played like g4. This is the idea. This has been played by the one and only Steinitz more than 100 years ago. He also played a game like this in the Italian. And white is just going for the king. Now g5, because the pawn on h6 is on h6, white can just open up the game with g5. And there is no way that black can stop it. Like if you play d6, g5, white is almost winning. Black tries to stop it by knight h7, but white just goes rook to g1. Now white is in all-in mode. He just wants to play g5, and you cannot play f6 because this is pinned. And now black is just lost. She plays knight d4 to prevent this g5 in every sense that she can, because now, okay, g5, I can take on f3 and then take on g5. But Hou Yifan says, you know what? I'm just going to do it because I'm opening the lines by this. I'm opening the lines. Look at this bishop now. Look at this rook. And look at this bishop. This is just over. This game is just over for black. She takes on f3. Queen takes f3. Queen comes into the party. Black should have taken it with a knight, but it doesn't change so much. She takes it with the h pawn, and now we have h4. And everything is open. White has two bishops. Black is under a lot of pressure. She just plays d5, which is a good practical choice. Otherwise, she just wants to buy a tempo by this, and after that, white even didn't went for it. Like, if you play bishop takes d5, black can play g4, and now with the protection of the bishop, okay, white, if she goes to sacrifice and exchange in this position, it might work, but it's too much, probably too much. So it's a good idea by Kateryna Lagno. She's a very strong, especially in blitz and rapid, she's a very strong player, but Hou Yifan just plays bishop takes g5, boom, on the board. And now it's with an attack on the queen, but black says, wait a moment, I can just take it. And now, what are you going to do with the bishop? White just takes it. If I can catch your king, I don't care about the material. Black takes on c4 and gets the next move, queen to h5. Here it is. White just wants to play rook to e8, rook to h1, and just checkmate. And there are so many things to analyze. You might say, okay, what's wrong with rook e8? If you play rook e8, just goes rook here. If you play f6, then g6, you will not solve anything. And if king to f8, now knight to d5, preventing the king to run away from this square, and now queen h8 is coming. You need to sacrifice the queen for it, so it's over. So there is no way to run away. The king is under a lot of attack. This is why the lines are opened, and white king is in a very safe square. And whenever she wants, she just can play long castle and bringing the other rook also into the game. So the queen is on h5, g6, rook h1 is a threat. If you play f6, there is also g6. If you play rook e8, once again, white even wins with castle. Knight to d5 is coming, rook to h8 is coming. The position speaks for itself. In the game, black decided to sacrifice a bishop to buy some time and to have some defensive ideas. King takes f2, queen to d4 check. If white goes wrong, she might lose lots of her advantage. Like if you go king e2, then black buys some time. By this, now she attacks on d3. Still white is winning by rook g3. Unbelievable. But now it's believable because white is not a piece stone. But in the game, she just plays king g2. Much safer move. And the idea is that if you take here, I'll just play rook h1. You don't have any checks, but I have a very important check here. And it's over. So you cannot take on d3. She should have played rook d8, rook fd8, but now rook f1 just finishes it. Because after here, we have here, after here, we can just play rook h1, and look at this. Black doesn't have an attack, white king is safe, and even after this, white has this brilliant move, queen g5, not letting black king to run away, and then rook h8 is coming. No defense in this kind of positions. In the game, black just went back with queen d7, trying to exchange something, trying to exchange the queens, but white just plays knight d5, allowing black to exchange, but black cannot exchange it because after take, we can just simply play knight to e7 check, and after wherever you go, we have here, and after here, we have rook takes h5, the king cannot run away because this knight covers all of the squares. In the game, black played rook to d8, now trying to give the check, but white is first. He just plays king h2, defending everything. Now knight to f6 is also coming, g6 is coming, and black is not even a piece up. She gives the piece back by bishop takes f2, and now the king is also in safety. Queen to d6 trying to prevent it, but white just crashes in with pawn to g6, and it's move number 20 that black resigned this game. In view of f takes g6, rook takes g6, what can you do in this position? Knight to f6 is coming. This move is bishop g4, but I will just take it. A very nice idea by Hou Yifan. She was near to 2700. She's not playing that much active recently. Knight to f3 transpose back into Italian. This a3, a6 so far so good. And now black should have played d6, allowing bishop g5 and playing this kind of position. h6, I guess it's a blunder because after g4 there is no way back. Maybe engine can save it, But for humans, it's not savable. Rook to g1, I mean, what can you do in this position? She tried so many tactical ideas, but h4 just opening up. White is just playing, this bishop g5 was brilliant. I don't know why chess.com doesn't give it a brilliant move. Because it's just sacrificing a piece for the attack. Knight g5, h5, and now we have queen to h5, rook h1, g6. Beautiful ideas. Giving back the material, but white king is safe and black king is not safe. There are so many checkmate patterns, and after g6, she just crashes in and win this game in a style. I hope you enjoyed it.